Wow, he does 70 expressions and reactions.
Does he? Does he? Hey guys,
Yes.
welcome to Night Owls. It's good to be here with you guys. And hey, Sasha, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I am doing well. I'm doing well. Just before the show, I was thinking about doing my show instead of tomorrow during the day, do it tomorrow evening. I'm just thinking about doing that because this goes late, so I might
Well, you
do
said you
that.
get more viewers at night.
I do. I do.
So
So I
maybe you
don't
should
know.
just do night. I'm a night person. I mean,
I know.
I could listen to you at work
I
if
do
you
it
were
like
at
on
night
Wednesday
too.
nights, but I may expand that. So we'll see.
I would
Guy,
kind of prefer that, but
yeah. Hey
it's
guys,
up to
thank
you.
you.
It's your show.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for being here, Night Owls. It's funny because I posted this and I don't see it now, but someone was complaining like, "Oh, someone's copyrighted your idea of Night Owls." I'm like, "Bitch, we've been doing this for like 6 years with that name, so I think everyone stole from us, right?" So
Yeah. Well, we saw that movie Late Night with the Devil,
I know they use Night
and
Owls, but we had
they
it
did.
beforehand.
Oh, that
Yeah.
reminds me. At Walmart tonight, I bought a movie for like $5.
What
I
did you
got The
buy?
Crow. I haven't seen
Ooh.
that movie in years. And then I also got Nausicaa, I think's how you say it, and Princess Mononoke in a bundle.
Okay.
So we could watch those. Those are those cartoons. But I've been going to see those Japanese cartoons. But I miss Nausicaa. And Mosca said that's his favorite
All right.
out of the ones he's seen. But then Brandon said it was like his least favorite. So I don't know. I want to watch it. I think it
Yeah.
was the first one.
I don't know anything about it, so yeah.
Yeah, it's a Studio Ghibli. This guy
Oh, okay.
Miyazaki, he directed these or made these movies, a lot of them. But they have other people direct them too, but they started in the 80s. And I think that Nausicaa, if I'm probably saying it wrong, is the first one. I think it came out in 1987. And then other ones followed. Me and Brandon went to see Kiki's Delivery Service over the weekend. I don't know. It's too bad you don't like those because they're a lot of fun. They're really good.
Yeah, I'm just I don't know. I'm just not into movies. I like movies, but I kind of watch them and then that's it. I don't. That's just how I approach usually movies.
I was listening to Kumia tonight and he was talking about the new Alien movie. He said it's crap.
That's what I
He said
heard.
it
We heard
wasn't
that
very
from someone
good.
else. Yeah.
Yeah, I still kind of want to watch it, but he's probably right because he said that he thought the first one was like a perfect movie.
Mm-hmm.
And he said there's some movies that are just like perfect. And he said that's one. Back to the Future is one, which I agree. Godfather, I also agree. And and then he said the second Aliens is awesome too, which we know. I actually prefer the second one, maybe because I saw it first. I saw it on TV when I was a kid, and the little girl I think is like the same age as me, Newt from the second
Yeah.
one. And I saw the third one when I was in high school, and it wasn't as good as the first two. And I don't remember it. I haven't seen it since high school, but I remember I thought it was entertaining, but it was nowhere near as good as like the first two.
Oh yeah, I really loved the first one. I thought it was had a it was tense and dark, and you're out of space. It was a different theme,
Yeah,
but they probably just did it to death. So
yeah, they did because well, and then there's Alien versus Predator and Prometheus,
yeah.
and I didn't really care for either of those. But I don't know. I'll probably still watch it. But he was saying there was no good movies anymore, and it's like there's been a lot of good movies this year. I think because for a long time, like during COVID and when all that woke shit started to come out, a lot of the movies were kind of shitty. But I don't know. I've been kind of happy with a lot of the movies we've seen this year. I thought The Substance was awesome. Speak No Evil was really good. Strange Darlings. To be fair, it seems like a big chunk of the movies I go to see are like horror movies or cartoons. So I don't go to
Right.
see the Marvel movies anymore or anything. I think the last time I saw a comic book movie in the theater was Wonder Woman. And it's like, how long ago was that? Like 2016 or something? It's been a while.
Yeah. Let me, by the way, guys, happy Halloween. And I wanted to show you this, Sasha. Uh, this was on X, and I thought, man, this is one of the best Halloween costumes I've seen. Let me just bring this up for you and get your impression of it. Did you get any trick-or-treaters tonight, by the way? Oh, you were working, so
No, I was at work.
yeah.
Oh,
Oop,
that's cool.
yeah, look at this guy. He's like an army man. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's awesome.
That
Yeah, that's
that
really
is
good
pretty
from
damn
Toy
good.
Story. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good.
That looks pretty good. So
There were a bunch of people at work dressed up, and they had really great costumes. I could probably dress up at work if I wanted to, but if you have to clean in a costume, it's not much fun. I did that once, like 20 years ago when I worked at the university. I dressed up, and they were like, "Yeah, you guys can dress up, but no like sexy costumes or anything." And it's like, "Yeah, I'm not going to do that anyway." But it's just kind of uncomfortable to have to clean with a costume on.
yeah,
So,
I don't have anyone to dress up for. I guess I could put one of your dresses on, do a Steven Crowder. Isn't he always dressing up as girls and stuff?
yeah, I don't think you would fit in any of my dresses. You're like 6'4", and I'm 5'8". And
Yeah.
I'm like 145 pounds, and I don't know how much you weigh, but I don't think you would
200.
fit.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's no
I'm
way
too
in hell
big.
you'd fit in my dress. You'd ruin my dresses or rip
I
them if you
know.
try to put them on.
Well, I wonder how Steven Crowder gets his dresses. So
He's rich. He can afford to have somebody make his dresses for him. Like, I mean, if you wanted to, I'm
I don't
sure
think of
someone
Steven
will make
Crowder
yours.
much anymore. It's more of Tim Walsh and everything. I don't know. It's just not Tim Walsh, Matt Walsh, right? I was thinking
A
Tim Pool.
who?
The people I just haven't heard of Crowder for a while. I think
Yeah.
more of Matt
Well,
Walsh and Tim Pool.
Well, it seems like after that whole thing about him like screaming at his wife, it kind of like toned down his popularity to some degree. But I don't know. I think he's kind of big on Rumble. I
Hmm.
don't know if he does much on YouTube anymore. I don't follow him really. Once in a while, he'll come out with something good about. He'll have somebody go undercover, or he'll have
Hmm.
information about things, which is good. But I don't know. He does seem kind of full of himself. I tried to watch. It was the night of the debates,
Hmm.
and after it was over, or no, it was a debate you weren't streaming, or it was a DNC thing. That's what it was, and it was Kamala's speech and all that. And I
Hmm.
kind of wanted to listen to it, but you didn't want to cover it, and so you didn't. And he was like one of the few people I saw that was actually like streaming when I was up at work, and so I listened to part of it, but I don't know. He seems kind of high strung. I remember he was on Joe
Yeah.
Rogan. He said he's on Adderall. And I wonder, I think he's got that kind of personality of just like a go, go, go type that would
Right.
probably drive me nuts if like he had to hang out with someone like that or work for somebody. I think he's probably hard to work with. Oh, speaking of, I saw on X, his old co-host actually got, or I don't know if you call him a co-host even, the guy, not gay Jared. I
Hmm.
guess he won that lawsuit between him and Crowder.
Oh, he did. What was the lawsuit
Yeah.
about?
Something about the NDA, like non-disclosure, I think, because he talked,
Oh,
or I'm not sure
okay.
exactly. I can't quote you on
Oh,
that,
did
but
Crowder
I just
sue
remember
him?
he was trying to sue him. I think so.
Oh, who
And
sued
Jared
who?
won.
Crowder
I think
sued. Oh, okay.
I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not sure. All I saw, this is all I know, is that he won. He said on X, Jared won.
I
So
think
up against
Crowder was
Crowder, I
suing
think.
him. Yeah.
Okay, well, Crowder had to pay. I think it said $56,000 or something like that,
Oh,
which is a
wow.
lot of money.
Well,
So
not for him though. So, yeah.
no, but
I
I don't know. It seems like if you had this lavish lifestyle, though, I would be like scared to death. Like any minute now could all go away. Like if
well, a
you have
lot
to
of
keep paying lawyers and shit.
yeah. I was talking about. Who was I talking about? Sharon Stone. She went through all of her money, and everyone's like, "How could you do that?" She said, "Well, when I go out to dinner, it averages." Because she takes like a couple friends, it's like $3,000 a dinner or something, and just crazy shit like that.
Well, and you have to
And
think like it depends. Like if you like somebody like Oprah, like Oprah could do that because she's a
hmm.
billionaire. Like some people do, but then some of these actors, they might make a lot at the top of their game, but then you wonder like, are you going to age out of this? Are you still going to get roles? Um, and I don't know, if I was like that, I would probably still be kind of frugal, or I'd invest in
Well,
money
yeah,
that I know I could
that's
get
how a
my
lot of
money.
them lose their money is they put it in wild investments. And you would think you would tell them like, okay, I keep a certain amount like in treasury bills or something or CDs, something really safe. And then you have this percent, 20% you can play around with wild investments. But they get greedy and they put all their money in all this scammy stuff and they lose it. So it's common with sports stars. They go bankrupt. A
Well,
lot
rock
of
stars
people.
do too,
Hmm.
because I think a lot of them like they think the fame and the money will last forever,
Hmm.
and they're not smart about it. Like remember MC Hammer? I think it was on like I used to watch that show Behind the Music back in the 90s on VH1. and they did one about him, and he just like he made all this money because he was famous for a very short time, and he had like them put gold. What I want to say like gold something gold in his house, like gold fixtures, something
Right.
crazy. And it's like if you're spending money like that, it's not going to last if it's not coming in. And the thing with Crowder, it's like, yeah, he makes good money, but he's kind of like funded by people. So it's one of
Hmm.
those things where if you piss people off, like they're not going to sub to you, or you have to keep it going because he employs all these people. And so you're going to constantly have to try to make enough to want to pay all these people. And I don't know, it just seems stressful to me. I think in some ways the way you do it, I mean, if you had a little bit higher production value, that'd probably be good. But you don't need to employ. I don't know why some of these people, like they said, Tim Pool employed like what 30 people. Why?
Yeah, I
It's
have
just
no
a
idea.
podcast.
Yeah.
It seems like maybe a couple people. You could have somebody work the camera,
Well,
somebody do the
like Joe Rogan, because I listened to his interview with JD Vance. I will talk about that too. But he has this Jamie guy that kind of
yeah.
is. So I could see definitely having a person to deal with the audio, visual, and all that type of stuff. But 30 people, I just don't understand that. And I guess
Right.
Tim Pool didn't he get mad and fire everyone or something?
Yeah. And well, and the thing is, like Megan Kelly, I think she said she has 6. And
Hmm.
her show seems run pretty well, and she'll do the thing where they'll play a clip and she'll say like play SOT 8, and so she has a guy that plays that so she doesn't have to do it. It's
Right.
like that'd be good for you if you want to play a video like, oh,
Right.
let's go into this video about Trump today, go to SOT 1, and
Right.
somebody does it for you and you don't have to worry, or they get the guests, or if there's something wrong with, oh, your mic's too low or something, they fix all that. Like, yeah, it would, because then you could just focus on being the talent and not having to do all this other stuff too.
Yeah, that'd be ideal. That would be nice. But yeah,
But
I
why do
don't
you
think you
need
need 30.
30?
I have no idea why
I
you need
guess
that
with
many.
Crowder, he has writers to write skits for him and things like that, but I
Hmm.
don't know.
Yeah, I write all my old. I don't write anything down really, but yeah, I do all my old stuff. I wanted to show this. This is a little bit politics, and I'm just going to preface this. One of my viewers sent me this in. He's from California, and so I have no reason not to believe him. But I've heard other people from California say they see something different. So I don't know. I'm just saying what he said. He said that when he looked at the voting booth, this was what it showed. So here's your choices. And he said you had to do next before you got to see Trump.
Trump. Oh, they're
So you,
trying shenanigans
so you had
already.
Kamala Tim number one, and RFK. He doesn't even want to be on the ballot, but he can't get off it.
Right.
Chase Oliver, I don't know who this is. Jules Stein, and you have to do next to get to the Trump. And again, I've heard some people say it's a little bit different where they are in California, but this guy, I think he's pretty honest, so I don't think he's lying to
Well,
me.
they
So
were
I don't
showing
know.
on Kumia's show in New
Yeah.
York. They
Hmm.
had it like where like all the like Democrats were on a line, but
Hmm.
the way they did it, it made you think like oh, these are all the Republicans, and it wasn't. Like you're
Yeah.
basically voting for Democrats. And then there was one guy that was trying to hit Trump on, yeah, that was on X. I saw it earlier, and it wouldn't work. And then this one guy, they weren't going to let him vote, these black ladies, because he had a hat on, a Trump hat. So he got mad and he threw the hat. He didn't throw it at anybody, he just threw it like, hey, it's out of the way.
Hmm.
And they were like yelling at him. And this one woman kind of like, I don't remember if she pushed him or hit him. Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't see it on X. I saw it earlier today too, but he
I
was
don't know
yelling.
why. I don't know why, as a first world nation, we have so much troubles with elections when we never used to have these issues. It was very
Ever.
simple. All I would do, I'm not a big fan of democracy, but I would have some. Oh, my Stream Elements is working again. I just had to log out, log in because I did get we got a super chat. So thank you guys. And by the
Did
way,
you?
guys, if I ever miss a super chat, please just write me at ramseypaul@gmail.com and I will just read it for you. So I feel bad about that. Sometimes that
Well, you
happens.
missed one the other night I told you
Yeah, I know.
about. So I don't know if that's
But it
showing up
didn't.
or not.
I usually it shows up in Stream Elements, but it froze, and I re-logged out and logged back in. I read that fixes it, and it did. So this is Ryan. Thank you. Happy Halloween. Nice nightmare sweater, Sacha. Favorite classic Halloween movie? Have you seen Trick or Treat '86 with Tony Fields as a dead rocker who comes back to life and kills everyone?
I have.
Is that good?
I have. I've got that movie. Yes, it's
Oh, okay.
Skippy from Family Ties is in it,
All right.
and he plays this like nerd kid that gets picked on, and he's
Mm-hmm.
like kind of like how I was in like high school or junior high, where he's obsessed with like rock bands, and he has all these
Right.
posters. Gene Simmons and Ozzy are in it as well. They have cameos, but this rock star dies in this accident, and he plays his record and kind of brings the guy back, and he starts kind of taking care of the kid's enemies. It's pretty
Mm-hmm.
good. I don't know if you'd like it. I'm gonna have to get a drink of water. I'm still getting over this sinus thing; just doesn't want to go
Yeah,
away.
getting number. Okay, go get a
Sorry,
drink of
just
water, and
if I
I'll
start
just carry
talking,
it.
I get choked up.
Yeah. So, anyway, guys, this is a good time to kind of say, welcome to Night Owls. What day of the week we do it, we kind of float it. It's usually Friday night, but this week is Thursday. Some weeks is Thursday because Sacha is coming here tomorrow night, and she gets off work late. So by the time she got here, it'd be after midnight. So we decided to put it on Thursday night this week, and we stream on Rumble, YouTube, and X. And I thank you for your support. Again, you can do power chats. There's a link below there. Stream elements. YouTube has super chats and Rumble has rants. So we
Okay,
got.
I'm back.
All right, yeah, I was just doing the kind of the housekeeping stuff here. So
Oh, did you tell him that guy that you'd read his chat when you find it that you missed the other night? Because I happened to look down and see it, but
yeah,
then
I
you
don't
said
know
you
where it
couldn't
is
find
though
it.
because the stream elements hung up, so I didn't get it there. So that's what I'm saying. If I miss your chat, please just send me your question in Gmail and I'll read it. So
I know
um,
it was a teacher. So if the teacher's out there, because he said something about being a teacher. So if you're out there and you're watching this, just send Paul a message, like he said.
yeah, and since we got that a lot of stuff I want to cover tonight, we'll just do a couple of horror movie stuff because I thought that's appropriate for tonight.
Yes.
And this is a top 25 horror movie. I want to ask you, Sasha, if you've seen it. And on a scale of, I do my scale for movies, just so you know, from 1 to 5. 1 meaning a horrible movie, 5 a classic, 4 above average, 3 is okay, entertains you, but that was about it. 2 below average. So that's the
Okay.
scale.
Like the
Uh,
TV guide rating.
is that how they do it? 5
Well,
stars?
no, they
So
did. I think they did it back in the day because I used to like always read the movies. I think they rated it like A, B, C, or D.
my
Or no, 2 stars. No, it was 2 stars was fair. 1 star was poor. 3 was good. 4 was classic or excellent.
Well, that brings back memory because I remember being at my grandparents in Longmont, Colorado after they retired. And they had one of those. I don't know if you guys in the audience remember, like your grandparents, they had one of those old fashioned TVs that you sit on the floor. It was kind of fancy and nice. You know what I'm talking about? It's a color TV,
Yes,
you sit
we
on the
had
floor.
one.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. And they had that. And I always remember they got the TV guide, which was pretty
We
fancy.
did
They got
too. And
that.
I wish I had studied my schoolwork like I did that TV guide. I was like Button.
Hmm.
Like I just love I love TV. Brandon said he was the same way. And I love movies and I'd go through the back. They'd always have the movies that were going to be on in the back and it'd tell you what time. And I would go through and
Yeah.
highlight all the movies that I wanted to watch and put a star next to them. Anything that was new I would watch. Like I loved movies. I still do.
Yeah, and it was and then after Halloween, and pretty soon as a memory as a kid, I would get the Sears Christmas catalog or the toy catalog, and I
Yeah,
love that, and I would
me
circle
too.
what I wanted and everything. So that was a lot of
I
fun.
just got the Lego Christmas catalog and I gave it to Brandon because I already read it. And he goes, "How did you get a Lego Christmas catalog?" And I said, because I bought stuff from him this year. And because I signed up for one and I never got it. And I said, "Well, you got to go on there and buy something and they'll send you a catalog."
Now, when you were a kid in Rockford, did you trick or treat?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did as a kid too with my brother, and it was funny. We were talking about when we were younger. They had the myth of people poisoning candy and razor blade and apples, which is weird because I never got apples anyway. But there was all these urban myths, and I remember when I got older, there'd be these stories where you could take your candy to the fire department, they scan it to make sure there's. It was all based on a myth. It was all an urban myth, but people really believed that
I
bullshit
remember
back
this
then.
lady gave me some popcorn and my uncle
Hmm.
made me throw it away because he thought there could be
Hmm.
something in it. And I was all pissed off when I was a kid because I really wanted it.
Yeah, like who's gonna do that? Could you imagine you're having your home and like, hey Sasha, let's poison candy this
Yeah.
year. I mean, it's like
That's something
what?
Art the Clown would do.
But I think you'd be caught, right? I
Yeah.
mean, just what the hell? But it was funny how people were real paranoid about that. It's funny how people they really buy into this sort of stuff, and it's you think the worst about people. It's just really crazy. All right, so let's go through this rating thing here. Let me bring it back
All
up. We
right.
had a little digression when you brought up the TV guide. I'll go first. Okay, Scream. As a disclaimer, I did not see this when it came out, but Sasha showed it to me. I was the first time I saw it was Sasha. It's a parody of horror movies. I thought it was great. I give it a 5 star. It's not. It's more of almost like a comedy because they're making fun of horror movies. But I really, really liked it. 5 star. What are your thoughts about Scream? Have you
I
seen
give
it?
it, yeah, of
I
course.
know you saw it.
I saw it in the theater after
Wes
prom.
Craven was a good director too. Yeah.
I love Wes Craven. I got his autograph. Like I
Yeah.
wrote him years ago when I
Yeah.
collected stuff, and he sent me a picture. Um, yeah, I'd give it 5 stars. I saw it after prom. Me and my friends
Hmm.
went, and we were kind of surprised because they made it like Drew Barrymore was in all the posters, and so you think like, oh, she's the main girl, and then you go see it, and she gets killed within like 10 minutes, and we were kind of like, whoa, it was kind of almost like a Psycho.
Yeah.
And that was her idea, I guess. They wanted her to play Nev Campbell's part, and she's the one that said, "Hey, why don't we do it like this? You kill me off." And I think it was a good move. Buddy, hush.
Oh, do
Buddy's chasing.
your cat need water?
No, he's
Buddy need
chasing
water?
a bug. I think he's
Oh,
looking
okay.
up. Buddy likes. He's a bug chaser.
All right. Number 24, Nosferatu. I don't know if I can't remember if I've seen it. I heard it's a real classic and it's really good.
It
It's a
is.
real creepy vampire. So I can't rate it because I don't remember it. But did you see it and how would you rate it?
I've seen it. Yeah, it's good. I would give it a 4
Mm-hmm.
because I don't remember. I remember him, but it's like I don't know. It seemed like there were kind of slow parts. It is a silent movie, so there's
Mm-hmm.
that. If you can't handle silent, I like silent movies, but it's the makeup and everything's really good, especially when you think of the time that it came out.
The next one, Blair Witch. I know we're gonna disagree on this. I did see this when it came out. It was a low budget film. A lot of people they thought when it came out it was real, which was kind of silly.
Yeah,
Because they presented it like a documentary. These like, people got lost in the woods and they couldn't find their way out, and they saw the scary witches at night. I loved it. I really did love it because it led a lot to your imagination. It didn't show any gore or anything, but it would be creepy. You're in the woods. I live in the woods here. If you got lost and all of a sudden you see these weird symbols outside your tent and you hear things at night, and that look of horror she has there. I give it a 5 star. I know a lot of people didn't like it. I think you didn't like the shakiness of the camera. But that was done to make it seem realistic. What's your thoughts on that one?
I saw it. I rented it, and I lived alone at the time,
Hmm.
and I expected to be like this scary movie, and I don't know. I think it. I give it a 2. I haven't seen it since, so that's how you can tell if I like a movie. If I seen it since, nope.
All right, the big one is Dracula 1931. Bela Lugosi. It was kind of interesting in the 40s and 50s. They had a lot of monster movies that really weren't scary, but they were popular. I don't know. And this was 31. If I remember, I think it was a pretty good movie, but I didn't find it particularly scary. Bela Lugosi obviously is a Hungarian, thus he had that accent. The real Dracula, I was in the real Dracula's a castle in Romania. He was Vlad the Impaler. That's kind of what it was based on.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I give it a 3 star. What do you give that? Did you see it?
I never saw it. I've seen the ones with Christopher Lee,
Hmm.
but I should watch the 30s one. But yeah, for some reason I never saw it.
Yeah, it's not really super scary. 28 Days Later, I did not see this. Did you?
Yes, it's been a long time. I would probably give it 3 because I don't really remember it. I remember I thought it was good when I saw it, but it's
Hmm.
been so long since.
Maybe
I
we
mean,
should watch that.
2002.
Yeah.
We should watch it. But
Hmm.
I'd probably give it a 3 or 4. I'd have to watch it again to rate it because it's been so
Oh, it's a
long.
zombie movie. Okay, they
Yeah.
they became really. What happens a lot too in the genres, something gets popular and they do it to death. Vampires they did to death, I thought, and then more recently zombies were done to death. So, but this was, I guess, one of the original
When
zombie
it goes
movies.
through cycles, when I was
Yeah.
in high school, vampires were hot, then witches were
Hmm.
hot. Then in
Hmm.
the 2000s, like you said, it was zombies.
Hmm.
And so it's whatever. Now I'm not sure. It's kind of like a mix
So,
match of
do you
everything.
think a lot of there's a theory a lot of women like vampires because it's sort of sexy. Do you find vampires sexy?
Yes.
Yeah, see,
Like,
that's okay. See, you didn't have to even
the
think about it.
Lost Boys were so sexy. That should
Yeah.
be on the list.
Well,
Oh,
we'll
buddy, I
see.
see the next movie.
The
You know
Fly.
what I'm going to give that?
Yeah, I give it a 5 too. That was he was
5.
turning into a fly.
I love
Uh,
The Fly.
this was kind of a mix between horror and science fiction.
Body
And but
horror.
yeah, it was good.
It's real good.
And
He
yeah,
was
David
great. Jeff Goldblum was so
Cronenberg.
good in that.
Yeah.
If that hadn't been classified as like a horror movie, he would have like won an Academy Award
I
because
always
he
thought
had that
Gene
fly mannerisms
yeah.
down. I mean, he was real. That was just a good movie. It was
I like
gross.
Gina Davis. I thought she was
I like her
underrated.
too.
She's pretty. She was pretty, I thought.
I like her too. She
Yeah.
was good. They were both well. They got married and they were in a
Yeah.
couple movies together.
The next one, American Werewolf in London. I saw this like on late night TV. I don't really remember it, so I'm going to give it a 3. Uh, what would you give that?
I haven't. I've only seen it like once. I need to watch it again. I think I have a copy of it if you want to watch it. I met the guy that's in it, David Naughton, at the
Hmm.
very first horror con I had ever went to. And I told him I had never seen it. The horror con was weird because we always go and you know how packed it is and you can't move around. This one was in Little Rock and there was like nobody there. There was just like maybe, I don't know, a handful of people that even showed up to it. And so me and Brandon and this other guy, we all dressed up in costumes because it was around Halloween. And we walked around talking to people. And David Naughton had a table, and I just went up and was talking to him. And he's real nice. And I had mentioned I hadn't seen it, and he couldn't believe I'd never seen it. You got to see it because that's like his big movie and everything. And the other guy in it, um, he was the guy, and I have brain fog. What's his name? Griffin Dunn. His sister is the one that was in Poltergeist. That's boyfriend strangled her, and she died in real life. The older sister. That's
Hmm.
her brother, the guy on the poster there.
Oh, okay. Hey, we have a Carrie Cox. November 1st, Day of the Dead is growing as a holiday in the USA with all the skeleton iconography. Feliz Dia de los Muertos. That means celebrating Happy Day of the Dead. Yeah, that's Mexicans celebrate that.
Yeah, I celebrate Halloween. Like
Yeah, we're Celtic or Celtic, however you pronounce it. But that's
today's
Sacha and
one of my
I.
friends' birthdays, though.
Yeah, because we our both our heritage is the British Isles, so yeah, it's in our blood. We're Halloween. The Let the Right One In. I did not see this. Did you?
Yes, and I read the book too. I would give the book was really they're both good. I would give it a 4. You
Mm-hmm.
should watch that. It's about this little girl and she's a vampire and she befriends this kid that gets picked on.
Mm-hmm.
And like these kids are like messing with him in the pool. And you just see like you just see like body parts just
Oh,
start to
I
go.
think I've seen part of this. That
Well,
rings a
there's
bell.
there's
Was there a
two.
swimming pool scene?
Yes. There's
Yeah.
2 versions though. There's like an American version and then there's the Swedish version.
Which is
And I
better, the
think the
Swedish
Swedish
probably.
version's a little better because it's
Yeah.
but I think the guy that wrote the book was Swedish.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's good. We could watch that sometime. It's been a while since I've seen it.
All right. Suspiria.
Suspiria. I think I have seen it. Which one? I always get this is Dario Argento. I always get his movies. Is this the one about the witches? Yes, I've seen this. Um I would probably give it a 3 just because I don't remember it that well. And his movies are good, but
Dawn of the Dead. This was a 4. I saw this. They had the zombie. The Night of the Living Dead was a classic, and I don't know if that'd be on the list. That was in black and
It
white,
probably will be.
and is one of my favorites. But Dawn of the Dead was fun. Was this George
George Romero.
Romero? My brother always loved this movie. I remember he always loved the director. My brother wanted to be a director, and he loved this movie. It was pretty. I think pretty good. Is this where they were in the mall or something? Or
Yes,
yeah.
I believe so. It's been a long time since I've seen it too. I did like it. I'd probably give it a 4 also. And we need to revisit it too. Like I said, it's been a while.
A Nightmare of Elm Street. I know you love this one. Wes Craven. Yeah, this is a classic. I think a 5. It was a
5.
classic.
I
Yeah.
give it a 6. It's like my favorite horror movie.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't dress up today, but I
Yeah.
dug the Freddy sweater out.
Yeah. So that was a good one. Poltergeist. I will go first. I have to be honest. I think this was slightly overrated. I would rate this a 4. It was a good movie, but I don't think it was that super scary to me. There's a lot of weird things that happened. The little girl died at a tragic death. She had an issue. There's a lot of rumors behind that I don't think were true. And then the scene where they were in the pool with the skeletons, they did use real skeletons. Those were real skeletons.
But they said they did that for a lot of movies back then.
Yeah, they did
too.
that. Yeah.
I would give it
What's
a
your
4.
thoughts? Mhm.
I'd give it a 4 also. I think certain parts of it were really good. Like the swimming pool, that clown was creepy. I love the part where the that scary like skeletal creature is in the room, because you
Yeah.
gotta think this came out in 82. It had
Right.
really good special effects. A lot of people think Steven Spielberg actually kind of directed this, like
Hmm.
because he produced it and everything. But a lot of people, because he was on the set a lot, because this was made around the same time ET was made,
Right.
because Drew
Yeah.
Barrymore auditioned for both.
Let's see. The Thing. I don't remember this. This 1982 John
I showed
Carpenter.
this to you like a year ago. This is the one about the 5 guys, and that thing like takes over, like it gets in your body.
Oh, in Antarctica.
Yeah.
Oh, that
I
was a
would,
good. This was a good movie. Yeah, I'd
yeah,
rate this a 4. I didn't ring a bell, but yeah.
I'd probably give it a
Um,
5.
yeah, Antarctica Research Base. Yeah, I think this was like an all male movie too.
It was, and it had good special effects for the day too. They came
Yeah,
out the same year as Poltergeist and ET.
yeah, that was a good movie. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We were almost going to see that, but we got involved with other stuff. I think I've seen parts of this late night. This like the first slasher movie? Would you say?
I'm not sure if it'd be
Unless
the
Psycho you
first.
call, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I
This
haven't
is
seen it in a long
Toby
time.
Hooper. I just remember this a very strange one. I'd give this a 4. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd probably give it a 4. Well,
Oh, they
when
talk about it. Psycho may have been the first slasher film per se, but the Texas Chainsaw Massacre elevated it. So I would think so. Yeah, that was a one.
I know they said when they were filming it, like it was really hot, and the woman thought she was kind of like going crazy because of the heat and everything and the
It
conditions
did
they had to
literally
film it.
look hot. It was like supposed to take place in Texas. They were all hot. Yeah.
We should watch it again because it's been a long
Yeah.
time since I've watched it too.
Hmm. Was that based on a true story? Ed Gein or Gain?
Yeah, I think
Remember
it's supposed to
Canada,
be based on him. Yeah,
where he chopped up those people.
yeah,
Rosemary's Baby. I would like to see this again.
it's
I
really
always get
good.
this mixed up with The Omen, but
Yeah, I think I like Rosemary's Baby better, but I don't really remember The Omen. And we started to watch it, and there was dogs in it, and Button wouldn't shut up, and so we had to turn
uh-huh.
it off, like because now we can't watch anything with an animal in it, or Button loses her mind.
That was the stuff. A lot of weird things happen off the set too, if I remember when they're making the movie.
Yeah,
Wasn't it or The Omen? I always get mixed up which happened, but
both.
I would like to see that again. Night of the Living Dead. I'd give this a 5. It was in black and white, but it was really nice. I thought it was a really good movie. It's low budget, but it's really great. I'd have to give that a 5. What would you think?
I don't know. I'd probably give it a 3 because
Mm.
I've seen it, but it just, I don't know. It was good, I guess.
It
Seemed
was
kind
one
of
of the
slow.
for 1968. It was a rare movie where they had a black lead too. That was kind of strange. This guy,
Yeah.
but he didn't really play up being black. He just happened to be black. Evil Dead 2.
I've seen
I
those,
don't
but it's
remember
been
this. I don't really.
forever.
Yeah.
I'd probably give it 4. I remember
Hmm.
liking the Evil Dead movies, but I haven't seen them in probably 20 years. I should go back through and watch them again.
Silence of the Lambs.
Oh,
Yeah.
5 stars.
Yeah, this was a good movie.
I love Silence of the Lambs. I've seen this
Hmm.
a bazillion times.
I thought Jodie Foster did a really good job on this
You
movie
know
too,
who
though.
what they offered that part to, and she's dumb.
Mm.
Her dumbass turned it down. Michelle Pfeiffer.
Well, she would have been good.
I love Michelle Pfeiffer, but she didn't want to do it because she thought it was too gross.
Hmm.
And it's like, what were you thinking? Like, you could have won an Academy Award.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a classic. Jaws. Oh, I don't know if this is really a horror movie. I guess
Yeah, it
technically it
is.
is.
A shark
Really?
killing people? Yeah.
Yeah. I
What else
okay.
would
I'm
you
gonna have
call
a
it?
controversial opinion here. I don't think Jaws holds up well. We saw it at a drive-in, and at the time it was a huge thing in the '70s. It was one of the big, huge hits back then, and it just doesn't hold up well to me. I'd almost give it like a 2 star. I just don't think it's a very good movie.
2. I'd
Yeah,
give it 4. I like Jaws.
yeah. I know that's a maybe it's my thing with Steven Spielberg. I really don't care for him. Alien, we were just talking about this. Original Alien was a 5 star. And it's Sigourney Weaver. A lot of guys thought she was really hot. She was okay. I thought she was a little overrated.
Yeah, me too. She's a good actress. She's a
Did you
shit
also
person, though.
did you thought it was a 5 star movie?
I haven't seen it in years, so it'd either be
Hmm.
a 4 or 5. I've seen the second one more than I've
Hmm.
seen the first. I like the second one better. The second one I would give 5 stars for sure.
This is strange. Bride of Frankenstein, right? Ranking so high, 1935. I don't know if I saw this or I've seen clips of it. Um,
I've never seen
we should
it.
check that out though and see
We
this.
should.
Halloween, that was a classic, right? I remember that.
Yeah, I
Jamie
just
Lee
tried to
Curtis.
watch that like a couple weeks ago.
Does that still hold up, or is it kind of not really?
I mean, it's real 70s ish, but I don't know. I still like it.
Hmm.
I'd probably give it 4 stars.
You're kind of right. The more you say about it, Jamie Lee Curtis, a lot of people thought she's pretty hot, but really she's kind of got an ugly face. She just had a nice thin body.
She did. She had a good body, but her face was kind of manly. That's probably why
It
that
kind of
rumor
is, yeah.
started about her being a trans or being a hermaphrodite.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, that is the thing there. Psycho, that's a good movie. I've seen Psycho. It still
Yeah,
holds
Psycho's
up.
good. I'd probably
I
give it 4 stars.
I got to give it a 5 just because of its the key. Exorcist is my all-time scariest movie ever. I give it a 5 star. A lot of people think different. I think it depends on your religious beliefs and stuff, but I consider it. It was funny because Friedkin, he didn't even want it classified as horror, but it was. But I liked it. What did you
I'd
think
get
about it?
5 star.
Yeah. And what did they have number one? Shining. Oh yeah, Kubrick. That guy's brilliant. I give it a
Another
5
movie
star.
that's overrated. We
Shelley
watched it
Duvall,
not long
Jack
ago, and
Nicholson. It was really good.
it's
Yeah.
just so slow. Like we watched it, and I was just like, okay, no, it's good. Probably give it 4 stars. I would not put it number one. And why the
Yeah.
hell? Where the hell is Carrie on the list? Like
Yeah.
that's one of
What?
my favorite horror movies. Like, there's a lot of shit missing on there. Where's the Lost Boys?
Yeah.
I
Lost
mean,
Boys is goated. They said.
goated.
Does that be great? Goat means greatest of all time or whatever.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, there's a lot of movies missing from that list. Where did you get that list?
I just random on the internet. I
Make
don't
my
know.
own
IGN.
list.
Yeah. So.
See, what are some? It doesn't even have to be like horror. We could just do like horror themes, like I Love Elvira, Mistress of
Well,
Dark. Because I'm
Omen
looking at my
wasn't on
bag.
there.
Yeah, woman wasn't on there. Come on, buddy. He wants to come up here. Come on, come on up. You've been crying all night. What do you want? God, what the hell else was missing? There was only one Nightmare on Elm Street movie on there. I love Part 3. That wasn't on there. Fright Night wasn't on there. That was a good. Child's Play wasn't on there. Friday the 13th wasn't on there. Phantasm. Apparently nobody remembers Phantasm, even though that's a good creepy movie. You probably never even seen it, have you?
I don't remember.
It's about these brothers and their parents die. And there's this tall man, he's like an alien or something. It's kind of a weird movie. And at the funeral home, there's like this ball with these blades that comes out and kills people.
Oh, and another movie I know you said that was scary, is not on the list, was Alice, Sweet Alice.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's like a ton of movies missing on that list. I know, buddy, that's not a good list, is it?
Yeah. Oh, $5 from Ryan. Halloween 1978 is peak John Carpenter. The movie set is a precedent for all horror slasher movies to come. Maybe even more than what Hitchcock did. Yeah, you could make an argument. Ryan, you made a good argument there. Halloween was kind of like, you could argue the first slasher movie in the modern sense.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. John Carpenter really set the genre. And what happened, I was talking to Sacha, and this is why I really like the Art the Clown. In fact, that wasn't on the list. Terrifier movies. Terrifier, we just saw, is very gory, but they brought it back to the old horror. Because what happened, the slasher movies, they went in, and then they started to become kind of a trope and stuff, and then Scream kind of made fun of it, although Scream was a great movie in its own right. But then almost all the horror movies started to become comedies, not really serious horror movies. So it was good to see Terrifier brought it back to horror.
Well, after they make so many sequels. Oh yeah, and somebody in the chat said, "What about The Hills Have Eyes?" Yeah, that wasn't on the list either. That's a good movie. And I thought the remake was pretty good. I actually saw the remake before I saw the original when it came out, about the families and the campers, and they're out, and like this weirdo family starts like killing all of them. That's a Wes Craven movie also, and it had Dee Wallace in it. Oh, The Howling wasn't on the list. That's a great werewolf movie. And Gremlins wasn't on the list. I know that can be kind of considered a comedy, but I think it was classified as horror when it came out. The sequel was considered a comedy.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of movies missing, but I get it. They can only put 25 on there, so they had to, I guess,
it's
cut
just
a lot
a way
of
to
stuff out.
get discussion. But that was, I just found that interesting. And I wanted to see a video I haven't seen this, so we're going to it has to do with Tucker Carlson. I don't know if you saw this. I don't think you saw this, Sacha. But we're gonna play this here. Let me see if I can find this here. Yeah, Tucker Carlson just made the news. He said he was attacked by a demon and scratched up.
Oh God!
So
is
let's
this a
watch
joke?
this. No, this is seriously. This is serious. I made some of the shows here. So here we go. Here we go.
The presence of evil is kickstarting people to wonder about the good.
That's what happened to me.
That's what happened to you?
Oh yeah, I had a direct experience with it.
In the milieu of journalism or just...
Nope, in my bed at night, and I got attacked while I was asleep with my wife and 4 dogs in the bed and mauled.
Well, it's probably the dogs that scratched you.
I know.
I was joking, like, he had scratches on, and he told his wife, "Oh, the demon scratched me up." I'm like, "Oh, that's a funny excuse."
Button scratches us all the time on accident.
Oh, she does. I know. I got scratched on the head the other day because she gets in and goes. And she doesn't do it on purpose. She's excited. Does her? She doesn't
have good control of her body.
She goes, yeah. She gets excited, and her claws go out, and God help you if her face is there.
Mauled.
Well, it's probably the dog that scratched him.
In a spiritual attack by a demon?
Yeah, by a demon. Or by something unseen that left.
Is that right?
Claw marks on my sides, on my...
So it left physical marks?
Oh, they're still there. Yeah.
Well, let's see them.
Yeah. 1.5 years ago.
1.5 years, the marks are still there.
Was your wife terrified? I know you were.
I wasn't. I was totally confused. I woke up and I couldn't breathe, and I thought I was going to suffocate. And
I bet he had what I have. I have sleep apnea, and sometimes it does feel like you're suffocating. I bet he had
I bet that's what he
happened.
had, and his dog scratched him, and now he thinks that he got attacked by a demon.
That's probably the more logical explanation.
Yeah.
Because just so you guys know, and Sacha can verify this, I also have, I have two different things. I have sleep apnea, and that's where you stop breathing, and it's really kind of scary. So I can't sleep on my back. I have to sleep on my side or stomach, otherwise I will stop breathing. And I don't die, I just go, I just feel like I'm suffocating. And you've seen that. And throughout my life, I've had night terrors, sometimes with sleepwalking. And those are scary. They're really
sleeping with you is hard. Like, I don't know how many times you'll freak out and start screaming in the bed.
Mm-hmm.
One time there was a tornado, and all this rain and stuff started, and we were sleeping, and Paul just like sat up, like it was almost like something out of a horror movie. Oh, it was like out of Nightmare on Elm Street 2, where he wakes up all sweaty and stuff because Freddy's like taking over his body. That's always Paul just sits up and he's like, ah! And I was like,
I've done that ever since I was a kid. I remember when I was in high school, I once bashed out the window screen because I saw like my room. I would hallucinate. I'd wake up, I'd be in a dream state. And I remember the room was just like closing in on me, and it's just like, and I was freaking out trying to get out of the room. So I've had night terrors most of my life. And I haven't had a night terror in a while, I don't think. I don't know.
oh, whatever. You had one like a couple weeks ago.
No, that was
You had one
apnea. Sleep apnea.
Oh.
I was suffocating.
I always
there's a
get
difference.
woken up for these things too. You can never
No.
sleep through them because Paul's just so loud. Like,
I know.
you can't have your like emergency quietly. You have to wake up everybody. Scare the poor cat. Speaking of, Louise is right here. Hey, Louise.
He's here.
Come here. We'll pretend like you like Miss Louise. Come here. I know Louise. Paul only has eyes for Button.
Oh, that's not true. Louise is my buddy.
Louise.
She likes to lick my hair, by the way.
She likes to sleep with me. Last night there was a tornado siren going off. It was real scary.
Yeah, that was kind of scary.
And I told the cats, I was like, because we're laying in bed, and I was like, all right, guys, let's go downstairs and see what we need to do. And she followed me right downstairs.
Yeah, we took a nap today. I went to Sacha's briefly, and I kind of passed out for a little bit because I was up. Like you texted me about, what was it, 12:30, 1 a.m., which is fine because there's a tornado near your area. And then I went back to sleep. Then it really started to thunder here, and Button gets really scared when it thunders, and she just like jumps right near me.
Yeah.
And that woke me up, and I'm like, what the hell? So it was a busy night. That's something that it wasn't in Colorado. The thunderstorms, you get violent thunderstorms, always in the afternoon, late afternoon, early evening. We're here in Arkansas, we get these it seems like they're usually late after midnight. They come rolling in. It's kind of scary, really, because it's so dark. And then it just, the thunder gets so loud. So, all right. But let's go back to, let's see the Tucker Carlson here and see what happened. Let me just see if I can find where that was here. It's so funny.
I thought of another movie that was missing from that list, Black Christmas. Did you ever see that with Margot Kidder? It was the guy that did The Christmas Story. I think his name is Bob Clark. Is that the guy's name?
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. All right, here, let's watch this here.
I walked around outside, and then I walked in, and my wife and dogs had not woken up, and they're very light sleepers. And then I had these terrible pains on my rib cage and on my shoulder, and I was just in my boxer shorts, and I went and flipped on the light in the bathroom, and I had 4 claw marks on either side underneath my arms and on my left shoulder.
Well, it's probably his dogs. What did you say?
Yeah. This is dumb.
And they're bleeding.
Wait, they were.
I love Tucker, by the way. I really do like him, but he does get into, he's like into the UFO stuff, and he's into this sort of stuff. I mean, I can believe, I guess there's demons, but I don't know, being scratched by some, I'm not really quite sure.
I
We're
don't
bleeding.
know. I always
They're
had
bleeding,
trouble
yeah.
believing in
No,
this
no,
type of
actual claw
stuff.
marks. And I sleep on my side, so I wasn't clawing myself. I don't have long nails. And they didn't fit my hands anyway. But yeah, that happened. So I'm not from a world where things like that happen. I never heard of anything like that happening before. I had no idea what that was. I knew it was spiritual immediately.
You did. Okay, that was going to be my question.
Yeah. I don't understand to this day. I'm not going to put it.
You didn't try to refute the spiritual part in your own mind. You went right into the.
Well, I could tell you, when you have a night terror, and I don't know if you guys in the audience have ever had them, they are kind of creepy. They really are. It's like you're not really asleep, but you're not really awake. You're kind of in an in-between state, which is really kind of weird. And then you kind of get out of it. You get into reality, but there's a moment you're kind of in between, and it's pretty freaky.
Well, it didn't make any sense, and it doesn't now. But I'm not from a, what do they call it, faith tradition that talks about things like that or even acknowledges their existence. Like, there's nothing like that. I've never heard anybody say anything like that in my whole life.
What was the next day like?
Well, the next morning I woke up and I thought, that was the weirdest dream I've ever had. And then I saw blood on my sheets, and I realized that was not a dream at all. So I called my assistant, who was like the only evangelical Christian I know, well enough to call with something bizarre like that, totally bizarre like that. And she said, oh yeah, no, that happens. Yeah, people are attacked in their bed by demons.
What? I never heard that. Have you heard that, Sasha?
No.
What? What are you even talking about? Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not leaving anything out, and I'm not pretending to understand that. I can only say what happened to me, and that did happen to me. And then I was seized with this very intense desire to read the Bible, which I then started
I love how they have the bells in the background to make it scary.
without any study aids or anything. I bought a Bible that didn't have any. I'm not interested in editorializing in the Bible. I just want to read it and see what's in there myself. I have very low levels of trust for Christian pastors, most of whom, I'm just not a fan at all. And sorry to say that, but that's how I feel. And so I don't want to hear other people's opinions. I just want to see what's in there. And so I spent a year and a half reading it, and then I started rereading it. And it was just a transformative experience.
It's kind of funny. They're doing this whole thing about demons scratching them up, and I think we're looking at the demon that scratched them up right now.
Experience for me, but I'm not,
Oh yeah.
holding myself out as someone from whom you could get theological advice, because I'm
Sure,
not.
of course.
I don't know. I don't understand any of it. But yeah, that happened.
God
to me.
allowed the demon?
I have no idea what happened. All I know is I was dead asleep with my wife and dogs,
And they're dogs, right?
and I woke up with claw marks on my rib cage underneath my arms, and it didn't even make sense. My arms would, anyway, whatever. No one has to believe me. I don't care.
Probably what happened is he was asleep in a dream state, and the dogs jumped on him, and he kind of freaked out. And he was in that state where it's hard to understand what's real and what's fake. And I would guess that's probably what happened. So I don't know. I thought it was a
Somebody
good
in the
Halloween
chat said
thing.
it makes Tucker look stupid. I kind of agree. I think it's kind of stupid. Yeah, but I don't think it's not meant to be for Halloween, is it?
I don't know if it's meant to be Halloween.
Is he
but I thought it was
joking, or is it
No,
supposed
he's not
to be?
joking. It just came out. Yeah, it made the news that Tucker
Yeah.
Carlson and the demon.
Yeah, he should
attack.
keep that stuff to himself.
I don't.
People think he's nuts.
Well, he's already been into that alien stuff, and
Yeah, but aliens, I don't know. Aliens could exist. How do we know they don't exist? You don't know that.
Well, I don't know. There's magical unicorns on Pluto, but that you have to have if you're going to make a claim, you got to have the proof of it. And I just don't. How far away all the
We believe in
stars are.
God.
Yeah, but that's spiritual. That's
Yeah,
not
well, I
physical.
mean-
But aliens are supposed to be physical, like from another planet or something.
Yeah, but you
so-
don't know. We haven't been on other planets. How do we know? We exist. Let's just say something else doesn't exist.
There's on Cool Worlds, this astronomy channel. The guy did a good explanation of that. I encourage people to see that. And our friend that we have, I won't say his name, but he's an astrophysicist, and he kind of thinks that we may be alone. I think it is quite remarkable. Although most people in his community really don't want to think that, because then that brings up theological questions. If all the trillions of stars and we're the only ones that exist, yeah, that raises some interesting questions. So I do believe
I
in
don't
the
know. I like to
spiritual.
think that there's.
Oh, I know that's the common belief. I'm just the more I look at it, I in the Fermi paradox, we don't hear anything. I'm kind of skeptical if anything exists out there. But I know. But my point was Tucker's into that type of stuff quite a bit, so I'm not really quite. Well, I can believe in demons, I guess, but I don't know if they really scratch you or anything like that. I think the more likely explanation, because he kept mentioning his dogs, and they were in their like cabin. And I
And he
think his
couldn't breathe.
dog, yeah, well, he probably might have had apnea, and the
That's what I
dog
was.
jumped on
Yeah.
him, and it freaks you out. And if you're in I don't know, I guess I could ask you, because I don't know normal people. I guess I'm not normal with my sleep. But do you ever get in that state where you're not really asleep or awake? You're just, and it could be briefly, but you're kind of in a confused state.
No, I had
And
that last night because I didn't get
yeah,
a lot of sleep, and I have gastritis, and so
so if
all I
you're like in
ate
that,
was like.
if you're in that state and a dog jumps on you and you don't really know it's dark, you get what the hell, and you jump up and you don't even remember the dog jumped on you, right? And you're confused and you walk, and then you, oh shit, I'm scratched. What the hell happened? I think that's probably more likely what happened, I would say. But because dogs can and cats, by the way, they can really scratch you up. Their claws can do that.
But yeah, all I.
Brian, growing up in Arkansas, Hot Springs, the storms were crazy bad during the summer and early fall. Some of the worst I've ever seen. Ryan, I didn't know you're from Arkansas Hot Springs. I've never been to Hot Springs. You said it's pretty nice up down there, isn't it, Sasha?
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, well, we usually get them in, you're right, either in the spring or fall. And the reason for that is I wasn't surprised last night. We've had kind of an Indian summer, so it's unusually warm. Then we had this cold air come down. And when the cold air hits the warm air, it gets very violent. And that's what happened last night. We had a cold front move in, run into this kind of warm, relatively warm, moist air, and it created a lot of bad thunderstorms and tornadoes. So that also happens in the spring when with cold air, then all of a sudden the warm air from the Gulf comes up, and we get that's the meteorological explanation for it. But yeah, we get loud thunderstorms here, and it pours. It can rain like hell. I mean, hard. So that definitely is the thing that can happen. So, yeah. So I didn't do that to make fun of Tucker or anything like that. I just found that kind of interesting, that sort of thing. I don't know. Take it for what you will. So let's see what else I had as notes. The JD Vance interviews on Joe Rogan, I listened to that when I was driving to your apartment, Sasha, on the way back home. Very good. He's excellent. It's funny, the media, how they're a bunch of liars and they're just campaigning for Kamala. It's the whoring they're doing for her is just despicable. But they said, oh, J.D. Vance really blew it. He wasn't ready for that interview. He sounded great. He was wonderful on the interview. I don't know what they're talking about.
What
But
do
they're
they
just
talk
like,
about?
everything. They started talking about like the pharmaceuticals. And it was just, how Joe Rogan conversation is 3 hours. And I thought J.D. Vance, he's a very intelligent man. He can talk very well. I was surprised because his grandmother was very religious, but she would always say like fuck and stuff like that. And J.D. Vance swears, and he was swearing on there, which is unusual for a politician. He would say fuck, for example. And I found that kind of interesting.
I think most people swear.
Well, it's unusual for politicians, I mean, in public to do that. Lyndon B. Johnson had a dirty mouth, but in public they typically don't. But now it's more common. And I think part of it is because I forget how young he is. He just turned 40. So he's younger than both of us. And so yeah, it was kind of interesting to see that. So that was pretty cool. So that was it. So So if you guys check that out, JD Vance on, and I thought he was pretty good for that.
So you said they
So
talked about everything. Besides pharmaceuticals? What did they talk about?
oh, they talked about the January 6th. They talked about censorship. I thought that was really good. How we need to be able to talk freely. I'm just off the top of my head. I didn't keep a list, but those were a couple topics right off the bat he talked
Did you
about.
listen to the Trump
I just
interview?
segments. I didn't listen to it all.
I was going to, but then I heard he talked a lot about UFC fighters, and I don't care, so
Yeah.
I didn't really want to listen to it.
Well, with Joe Rogan, it's not so much like an official, like mainstream interview. It's just more like a conversation where they just bullshit about topics, like a
Yeah,
couple
no,
guys
I've
together.
listened to Joe Rogan before.
So
He's
it's
had some good
it's
people
in
on.
that style. So they talk about stuff that kind of, it's not always, it's something that you don't see the mainstream media ever doing, because the mainstream media now, they rarely give any, even with short interviews, they act like they have to be like the prosecutor, like they're trying to get you in a gotcha, which sucks, but that's kind of the way it is. And yeah.
Yeah, I kind of prefer the way Joe Rogan does it, really.
I do too. I like that conversational style. I don't think Kamala could have done it very well because she's not very smart, and she's
Well, she's just a liar and a fake, so what's she gonna do? I mean, she won't answer questions. If he did ask her anything, she's gonna like hem-haw around. Like somebody asked her again about the Joe Biden thing and how he called Trump supporters trash, and she wouldn't really answer the question. Well, first she's like, "Yeah, she said the right thing the first time." She's like, "Yeah, you shouldn't call people whatever because of who they're going to vote for." She kind of disavowed Joe Biden, and then somebody asked her again, and she's like, "Well, we have to do blah blah blah," and she started a word salad again and didn't answer it. So it'd be the same on Joe Rogan. She only has like a few catchphrases that she can say.
Nobody knows. He sent in a good question. Would you rather live next to a base black or a white progressive? Well, on an individual level, I would rather live next to a black. However, they're all group characteristics, and in general, I would rather live around whites, because even white progressives, they tend to live more peacefully and have a more a situation that's better to live in. Even in liberal areas where they're white, it tends to be nicer areas like Vermont or stuff like that. And I know there's exceptions, but and it's not worse or better. I just don't, in general, blacks tend to be very loud people, and they tend to be more aggressive. I just don't care to be in that environment. So I guess I would rather live in a white community that was leftist, like a Vermont or Boulder, Colorado, than a black community. And I don't know if you can. I think it's a mistake to even describe blacks in the ideological term. I don't think most of them think in ideology. I mean, are they conservative or liberal? I don't think they think in those terms, so it doesn't really apply. I mean, there are exceptions, but in general, they don't. So, how about you, Sacha?
Progressive white person. I've lived
Yeah.
around blacks, and I mean, I have blacks across the street, and I mean, they are loud and they have parties. Like Brandon said, there was like 70 of them out on the lawn, and when he was feeding the cats for me and stuff. But people always like talk shit about like white progressives, and it's like not all lefty areas are bad areas.
No.
Like I even heard Elijah Schaefer say that. He said he lives like in a left I think he said he lives like an area run by like Democrats or something, and he said it's a really nice area. And they do.
Yeah.
And even Fayetteville, I mean, Fayetteville's a lefty place, but it's nice.
Well,
it's
that
like
was yeah, that's like socialist. Sweden was always very left wing, but it's very nice when it was just composed of Swedish people.
And the thing is, a lot of these people, they're not necessarily bad people. They're misguided and brainwashed, but they will do things like the community. I've noticed this, like lefties do this. Like the arcade almost went out of business during COVID because he couldn't stay open because of all the regulations and everything. And so a lot of the people around here, they love the arcade so much that they came together and they gave him like $11,000 so he didn't have to shut down. And they will do things like that to help people. Like I've worked with like liberal people and they will. This lady at like where I work, this lady's house caught on, or her apartment caught on fire, and all these people donated money to help her out. And these are mostly like left-wing people. So it's like they have shitty ideology, but a lot of these people, I don't even think that, I don't want to say that, well, they're misguided, a lot of them. Well, like my friend Brandon, his dad is like a super shit lib, but he's not like a bad guy. His ideology's bad. But I mean, deep down, he's not a bad person. He's just kind of brainwashed. And that's how a lot of these people are. They're just they've had propaganda shoved down their throat for years, and you know that's just the way they think, or maybe their parents were that way. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I agree. And then you get kind of regressing to the norm, and you could have one base black guy, and I'm sure he could live decent. But you have a lot of them together. It's going to be an environment I don't want to be around.
Well, I lived by one years ago at this apartment complex, and he was really cool and everybody liked him and he kind of kept an eye on the place, but then he had friends and they'd come over and they weren't as nice as him. And then there was this like black lady that was a crackhead, and we kind of laugh at her. She'd like knock on the door and want to like borrow. I remember she wanted to borrow some sugar or something for me, and I just found a cup I didn't want anymore, and I'm like, here, you can just keep the cup, because I didn't want her to come back.
Yeah.
But he said he gave her a ride somewhere. The cool black guy that I was kind of friendly with, he said she got in the car as he's giving her a ride, and she just like lit up a joint right in his car. And he's like, hey, you got to put that out. You can't be smoking that in here. But it's like, and even she wasn't necessarily bad. She had a drug problem, but she was always nice to me and everything. But even that, I don't want to live around like crackheads, and, you know, get your shit together. But a lot of times they bring other people that aren't so great living next to them.
And that's a problem with it. And it's not, the people do have a collective behavior, and we live with multiple people and they do have a behavior that happens. And this is why I always hate the meme, and conservatives, they think it's a big own. Like, oh, look at Baltimore, how dangerous it is, or Detroit, it's Democrat-run city, or Chicago. I'm like, well, it's not bad because it's Democrat. It's bad because of the demographics. Because you can, like I said, Vermont or other places, super liberal cities like Boulder, there's almost no crime. And yeah, you'll have a bunch of homosexual flags and a bunch of shit libs, but you're not going to be mugged or anything. And so it's a different type. I mean,
well, they're usually pretty good about.
Well, it comes around basically,
you.
Right. Biology trumps everything else. We have a lot of diversity among our people, ideologically, and a lot of other things, but they're still our people. And when you get other people, they just have a different spirit than we have and how they live. And while some individuals can be better than others, it's just not, it's not what I want to be around. So
but you're right, and they are aggressive too. Like if you're a female
aggressive.
and there's blacks around, they're going to hit on you.
Yeah.
Like I went to a karaoke with my friends one time, and after we were getting ready to leave, I swear to God, there's just like a whole bunch of them like coming up. I had to pretend my friend was with me, even though he had a girlfriend, just because it's like, I'm not interested, and they don't really want to take no for an answer.
Well,
I went to a party like that with this lady at work, and it was the same thing. There was one black guy there, and he was nice, and he just kept hitting on me. And I'm like, I just broke up with somebody like a couple weeks ago. I don't want to go out with anybody. And I didn't say I'm not into black guys, because I'm not into black guys, but I didn't want to say that. So I just, I wasn't interested. But he just kept on. And it's like, okay, I don't want to go out with you. And they just don't know when to stop. And it's just irritating. So yeah, I don't want to live around them.
That's what really red-pilled. I was dating a girl from Romania. And she got red-pilled because when she lived in France, in Paris, the most aggressive behavior was like with Africans. And that I've heard a lot of people are red-pilled that way because they just around it. So it's not what you see in Hollywood. It's a very true thing. and there's always a chance of violence and trouble and things go sideways. It's just,
Yeah.
it's funny how people even even other people of that community understand it. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
understand it, and it's you don't want to go in a convenience store in a heavily black area late at night, and everyone knows that. Even blacks know that.
Right.
It's just reality, and you can explain it for social economic reasons or genetics, but whatever, it's true, and so. Yeah, that's kind of an easy question. I'd rather live around white liberals.
Well, if it
So,
wasn't for some of this dumb shit white liberals believe, I wouldn't have as big a problem with them. Like the old school liberals or like Democrats from back in the day, I don't really even have much of an issue with. It's just this tranny kid stuff and all the weird shit that's
oh
going on
yeah,
now that I have an issue with.
it is well, they talked about that actually on the Joe Rogan show with JD Vance about how the distinction between old school liberals and this psychotic woke stuff, and how a lot of ex-liberals now just can't be part of that because they got talking about how liberals used to be against political censorship, but then now they're all for censoring people, and it's just amazing. And I thought JD Vance talked about that really well, so he sounds really much like on our side on these issues. So
Maybe I'll have to listen to it.
yeah, I know.
I
So
still kind of want to listen to the Trump one, but then I heard he went off on UFC stuff for a while, so I don't know. I guess I could fast forward through that. But
yeah, that's always a thing that you get through. They did spend a lot of time on the pharmaceuticals and food and all that, because that's kind of a thing that
yeah, and
Joe
I've heard
Rogan's
that over and
into.
over this year too, and I
Yeah,
get it. Trust me, I have like issues right now, and it's like I
yeah.
get it. Our food is poison, but I get tired of hearing about it nonstop.
That's a big thing Rogan likes to talk about. So like the first part of the show, they talked a lot about that. So yeah, that was the thing. So yeah, it was a good. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out. I like JD Vance. I think he's done a lot better than there's a real campaign against him when they picked him, and I think because most people didn't know about him, so they kind of believed it. But now that they've seen him, I think he's a very strong candidate. He's helped Trump a lot, so I think that's a good thing
Well,
about
I
that.
saw a lot of people on X saying that they didn't like him at first, but now he's really won them over. So I think a
This
lot of
is
people now are seeing it that he's a
this is
good
funny.
candidate.
I won't say who, but when I saw this post, I first thought it was a famous right-wing influencer. I only watch gay porn because I don't like looking at women. You know how I'm thinking about too,
Yeah.
don't you?
So is that a woman saying that?
Yeah, this Christina Button, she got into some of the she's some thought they got into some conservative GOP thing. I think it's a big uh like scandal because she turns out I think she was a literal whore. I could be mistaken, but I think she was a porn star or something. And so all these posts she did, I don't know much about her, so I'm not going to make these statements. But when I first saw that, I thought, oh boy, that just sounds familiar. About yeah, there's some weirdos, that's for sure. That are really anti-women, and I get tired of that too.
Yeah, I'm kind of sick
Yeah.
of it. I get sick of hearing about, oh, this whole election's white women's fault. And it's like, I know a lot of white women that are voting for Trump, and I know it's anecdotal, but still, I've seen maps and things that said if white women married white women, Trump would win, no problem. And it's like they never talk about Asian women or black women. They're the ones that vote like heavily Democrat. Like maybe leave your own people alone.
Well,
Because
I
I see
think
a lot of white people doing this shit where they like get
part
mad at
of
us.
yeah, part of the problem is because of social media. You get all these mentally ill people, and it's like they do this for attention, and they just do a breakdown. Because if you see, I showed you this woman.
I can't
Uh,
watch this.
I'll just do a little bit, but this is
I hate you, you fucking orange pumpkin. You just costed me one of the most important people in my life. My dad.
What's wrong with her voice?
I don't know, but we won't see it all. But obviously she shouldn't be voting. She's like a child. She's not even, it's embarrassing, really. So, and that gives, I think, a bad rep because you see a lot of them out there that act like that are really, it is. It's just childish. Yeah, it's just.
Oh, did you see, speaking of crazy people, did you see Rosie O'Donnell? She had a video where she was talking about she has to be on all these drugs because she's afraid Trump will win. Did you see it?
No,
Julia showed it. It was really funny. And
I saw something about her though. Yeah, that is hilarious. Part of the reason I'd like Trump to win is just to see all these people melt down. Bono said if Trump won, he would drive his car off a cliff. So I'm hoping that happens. So.
I've heard that he won't.
No,
is he even American? I thought he was Irish.
He's Irish. I know these people.
I'm sick of these people from Europe and all these other places talking about like America. Like, why do you give a shit like who we nominate as our president? You're not even from here. And you have enough money, you can go away, go somewhere else.
So I guess this is our last Night Owls before the election. Who are you predicting will win?
I think Trump's going to win.
Yeah, I did a video today about it, kind of laying it out, and I cautiously I am predicting a Trump win, but there's been a lot of shenanigans, so I'm not like super confident. I'm like 60% confident type of thing. There's things that still bother me that they could do. And this is a very corrupt society, and these people, they have no morality by any means necessary. So I
don't know. I think as long as they don't, if enough people get it, I don't know. I just think just from people at work talking to me about, like, this was months ago, but asking me about Kamala. And then I had to tell them, and they don't like her. And a lot of people don't like her. And she's dumb. I mean, if she can't even sit down and talk to Joe Rogan, how is she going to be able to talk with, like, our world leaders? Well, I mean, I know she's just a puppet. I know she's a puppet. I get it. But you still have to have some competence. Right. I feel like I could do better than her. And I wouldn't even be good at this type of thing because I don't have, like, a good education or anything. But the woman can't really talk. She just talks like in word salads. And I'm like, how was she ever a lawyer? And then you hear about that stuff and you're like, that sounds kind of sketchy too. I think that she just blew her way right to the top.
Yeah.
Like she was just a bimbo.
Yeah. Well, it's true. And they were talking about that on Joe Rogan and the JD Vance. JD Vance quipped that she's one of those people that can talk for 15 minutes, say a lot of words, but says nothing, And,
and you don't know anything about her really. Like, do you feel like, because you see Trump and JD Vance, and some of these, even Tim Walz to some degree, and I don't like him, but you can kind of get their personality aside from him being a weirdo. It's like, oh, he likes to go to China and he did this, he was like a assistant coach or whatever. You can kind of get in your mind like something about him. With her, it's like, what? She got married to some guy. They don't live together. She slept her way to the top. She barely did any like work when she was a lawyer, it sounds like. She was lazy. I don't know, like everything's fake about her. It's kind of like when she went in that record store a few months ago and she came out and they were like, what records do you have? And she had all these black artists, and you're thinking, well, you were like a kid in the 80s and you lived in Canada, or she's a teen. She's around your age. So you think she probably,
60,
so you think she probably listened to, if I had to guess, like at that time, Duran Duran, Wham, whatever was popular, or if she was into rock, which I doubt. She seemed like more of somebody that'd be into pop, but even she couldn't be honest about that, And I think it was Kumi made that joke. He said, you can't Makaja way your goo out of, or how does that band called? Makaja Goo. They had some good songs, and he goes, you can't get your way out of there because you know that they're coming with cameras to ask you what records you buy. So she buys all this black music. And or she probably listened to Michael Jackson, or I don't know. Maybe she didn't. Maybe she did listen to whatever she came out of the store. But everything about her just seems fake. That's just nothing, and you don't really feel like you know her at all. Like even Hillary Clinton, I can't stand her, but like some of these people, you can kind of, you kind of know a little bit about him. I feel like she's kind of a mystery in a way, other than like she's fake and she slept her way to the top. Is like, there anything in there? He just seems like an empty suit.
Yeah, she's not even like a traditional black experience or something
Well, she's
like
not,
that.
and that's the thing. And blacks even kind of know she's fake.
Right.
I've seen blacks even say like, "This bitch is fake," or
Mhm.
ask me, what's her deal? It's like, I don't know. It sounds like she grew up Indian.
Right.
Gavin McInnes said she grew up like him. She was like a kid from Canada in the 80s.
Right.
And it's just like, yeah, so she's
Well,
just fake.
she was raised by her mother because traditionally, blacks don't stick around for their kids, and her mother was Indian and she'd lived in Canada, so that's her. She didn't grow up in the hood or anything like that. So that's all just. And when she originally ran years ago, she identified as an Indian, and Trump made fun of that. But that's true. She did. She did, see, oh, I'll be the first Indian American to win in whatever, she made a big to do of that. Not black. That's all recent. So she is very fake. I don't think she's very intelligent. I really don't. I don't think
She's
her IQ is
not.
pretty low. She's not very curious. She wants power, but I don't think she really cares about issues that much. That's why it's so hard for her to discuss issues. JD Vance could sit down and discuss stuff with Joe Rogan because JD Vance is intelligent. He understands issues. You may not agree with him, but he can discuss issues. Harris can't do that.
No.
And it's obvious. So
I would say she's probably the dumbest candidate we've had. And
yeah,
I mean,
I would.
and Joe Biden's pretty stupid, but at least you can blame his like Alzheimer's or whatever, like
Yeah.
him going around biting babies and doing all this weird shit. God, he's such a goofball.
And they told him not to do that anymore. They told him don't sniff kids. And I understand it. I don't think he meant anything. He was just trying to be, I don't know. He wasn't doing it for any perverted reason. He was just trying to. There's just certain boundaries you shouldn't do. Like a baby you don't know, you don't bite them. I don't bite a baby anyway. And I'm not saying he didn't bite it hard, but it's just weird, And I don't
Aren't they
think
the
his
same
motive.
people terrified of COVID, going around
Well,
touching on
yeah.
like nasty little kids, like they're probably full of germs and diseases. That's what I would be thinking all the time.
They talked about COVID on this with JD Vance. JD Vance, he did take the vaccine. He sounds like he regretted it. He said after he took the vaccine, he got more sick with COVID than he did before he had the vaccine. It was funny. It was the stuff he was talking about. So they really went all out. It's pretty interesting. So
Is it on
was a good
YouTube?
Yeah, I retweeted it or posted it, so you can see the link there. Again, if you have a long time, it's a 3-hour show. It's a typical Joe Rogan where they talk about everything.
Well, if I listen to it at work, the problem with work, like Tucker
Yeah.
videos are like this too. There's so many ads because they know a lot of people are going to
Yeah,
watch them, so they just saturate them every 2 seconds with ads. I can't.
Rogan has some ads too, Call of Duty or
Find
whatever.
their ads as much when they have to read because I get it. You're trying to make money, but it's not that. YouTube will inject like ad after ad after ad. Like
Right.
somebody will say like a paragraph, and then it's like, oh, time for an ad. And like at work, I've got gloves on because I'm cleaning stuff. I have to take the gloves off and like skip it, and I don't have time to mess around. So if I'm going to do it, I'll do it at home where I have ad block.
Yeah, but yeah, if you have time, it's I was driving. It was interesting. I enjoyed it, and it was a good conversation. So it's really amazing that because he's got the largest podcast in the world that Kamala wouldn't go on it.
I know, and it seems like I don't know if it was me and I was Kamala, I would be like, oh, this is awesome. I'm going to go hang out with Joe Rogan. It seems like you'd want to do that just to put that on your bucket list. That's something most people aren't ever going to get to do. We're never going to get to go on Joe Rogan. You know what I mean? It just seems like that'd be something really cool to do.
Oh, I guess I saw someone reply on X that lady was a porn star. Her name was Rita Lovely or whatever. So I don't know. It was one of those things. So.
Oh, I was going to say they have the Dinesh D'Souza, that his new documentary, I guess it's on Rumble. I might watch it. Vindicating Trump.
Cool.
It was free. It was just in movie theaters not that long ago.
Yeah, I saw the Matt Walsh movie. They're going to be streaming on the
Daily Wire Plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to pay for that. I think
was a good
Dinesh's
movie, though.
movie's free.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. His movies are okay. Some of them are kind of cheesy, or the reenactments. Like when we saw Hillary's America, I went and saw that with Mosca, and I didn't know anything about Dinesh D'Souza. And he said, "Oh, this is like my kind of politics." And we went to see it, and it was like us and a bunch of like people probably in their 60s and 70s, which is kind of sad. Whenever we do see like anything that's kind of like right wing or political, it seems like everybody in the crowd is a lot older. But I mean, I liked it, but sometimes I'll have the reenactments, and I get it. He doesn't have a huge budget to hire good actors, so
Oh, this
some of
guy's
that comes
funny.
off kind of cheesy.
He was on X. He's saying if Trump wins, he should come out as trans and declare himself the first female president. Wouldn't that be hilarious? So
Yeah.
I'm the first female, and that would piss off the
I love what he did with the garbage stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it was just so funny, him getting in a garbage truck and everything.
Yeah.
The McDonald's thing was funny, and then like now this.
Well,
I
yeah,
hope Trump wins. God, we
I
need
hope
Trump
so
to
too.
win.
We really
I
do.
can't stand if that bitch is going to be, and not to mention the economy. That's what
I know.
I want to make money. I'm trying to sell stuff, and it's just everything's so freaking slow, and everybody's like broke right now, so everybody's trying to sell stuff, which means nobody's buying that much. And I don't know. When Trump was in before COVID, I was kicking ass. Like I had 2 jobs, and then I was selling stuff online, and it seemed like I was just making tons of money. And then like after COVID, I was still doing pretty good because I could do sell online, but because everything was locked down. But after that and all the inflation and everything, it's just like, nope, everybody's broke.
Yeah, I hope Trump wins, and I'm cautiously optimistic, but it's going to be close. And the Democrats and their shenanigans, I don't know.
Well, a lot of people think if he gets in, they're going to try to stop him then. Kind of like, oh, we can't let literally Hitler be president, and they'll pull out some legal bullshit. I don't know.
If he wins, I think he'll be president. I think because of the billionaires like Bezos and Zuckerberg, they've signaled that they're okay with him being in. So,
and it's kind of an embarrassment to America. I mean, it's already embarrassing having Joe Biden in there with being senile, but having her, I think it's almost worse because at least he has like a mental problem. Like he's an old man. What's her excuse? She's not that old. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. She's just stupid. And it's kind of like, oh, look, this is America. This is capitalism for you guys. Like you can sleep your way all the way up to be the vice president and didn't get a single vote. And it just makes us look like a joke. And America used to be like badass. And then now it's kind of like an embarrassment.
Well, that's what I said. Even if she loses, it's still a black mark on America that we could have someone of her capability as a serious contender. She should no way be near anything of power. It's just embarrassing.
It is.
And that's how much our country has fallen, and we have a lot of work to do to clean it up and get these clowns out like her. She shouldn't even be in this country, number one. But it's just, she's not compatible with
So
this
was she
country.
born in America then? And then they moved to Canada
Yeah.
when she was like a teen or something?
I think that was it. Yeah. So she's but I don't care anymore. By any means necessary, she needs to get out.
No, I was just curious. But
Yeah.
well, that's never going to happen. But
No, I know, but that's I don't really care anymore. I don't. Yeah, she's not really compatible with this country. So
it's kind of sad that it's even close.
that's what I'm saying.
Like it shouldn't even
That's
be
why
close.
yeah. So yeah, yeah, and that's and it will be close, even if he wins in a landslide in the electoral vote, because he could, he could win all because there's a lot of close states, and if he wins them all, it'll look big, but the vote will still be close, and that's what's sad, and that we got to this point. It's the problem of democracy is you end up in a clown world. So the Greeks knew that we end up just in a joke. So. Well, we've been here doing this for a while. I'll probably get to bed here. It's been fun, though, guys. Thank you. Yeah, it's been great to have you guys. And just so you know,
make sure you have everything.
Yeah, I think I got everything. I got that working again, and I will be doing my show tomorrow, but I may do it tomorrow night. I don't know. I'll think about tonight.
Oh, and we should start telling people, write us at the P.O. Box, because you never tell people. And we got a couple postcards from Michael D. But
Oh yeah, he's so great. And oh, we also had, I want to thank, I won't say his name, we'll keep it confidential, but he was from the Pacific Northwest area. You know who you are. We had a great time. He flew out here. This is the second time we met him. Really good, really nice guy.
he's
And
awesome.
we were really happy to see him again. We had dinner with him, and we met him another time. And we at your apartment, we just talked.
Yeah,
Really,
sadly we hung out here, which I didn't want because this place is like basically my moving and workshop. So
it's pretty crowded, yeah.
it
But
is.
it
But
was
everyone
we had a
stayed
good
here for
time.
like
Yeah.
after 2 in the morning.
Yeah,
So
it was a long conversation. You guys were all going, and then it's like I finally got tired. Say, I have to go to bed. You guys keep up, but then everyone left when I said that.
yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. And excuse me, got my sneezing here. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here, and we will have Night Owls next week, probably after we know who's going to be president. Hopefully, it's Trump. And
Oh, let me say the P.O. Box too. It's P.O. Box 8093, Fayetteville, Arkansas 72703.
yeah, and we love to get your letters and stuff. So it's great. All right, guys. So thank you, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye bye.
Bye.